All right, welcome back from that short break. The show is still the break live right here on Dominion Television, your channel of choice. And it is time for Trend Watch. And the gang back in the studio. Anoluwapo Idowu and Oluwayemi Adelaku. Welcome back.
Thank you. We're back.
So let's roll into
Take us there. Just like you would say on the street.
just a few minutes to this time, about 19 minutes particularly. There's a current protest that is happening in a community in Kwara State, and of course it was quite a big deal because we could see old people, women coming out crying. They held placards and all of that to say, help us, save us, because they've had not just the instances they've had, they've also had threats in recent times to say, we are coming for you guys. We are, and so they were scared. So they came out to say, you know what, federal government, we need help. Please help us on this issue. Meanwhile, another issue, just like we also know, Asari Dokubo was also maybe in the news. Some would say allegedly that he says that hunger in this country is too much, and fuel and many other things are now very expensive. A lot of things really at the same time that we're having. Just like you can see the protests of people raising placards and saying, please help us. These are community members in Kwara State. Speaking to the government to help them. We understand how many people have died in recent times, and this is a far cry from what we expect.
Right. I think that was, for a lot of persons, they envisaged that something like this would happen, especially with, the numerous cases that we've seen in Kwara State, people being killed on a daily basis, including the security operatives, soldiers, police officers, and of course, old, young, and then tall and short. It's really sad that we are at this point in time. But if you look at the number of cases that we've seen in Kwara State in the last few months, it is a lot. And I think, it should be a state of particular concern. I want to believe that, recently the IGP, sent something to the Senate so that they can append the signature, and I want to believe that they will be on top of this matter to see that they get to the bottom of that. And of course, crossing over to the Asari Dokubo issue, a video trended online yesterday, and then so many persons thought that it was Asari Dokubo, and that the man was saying Tinubu should resign. There's so much hunger in the land. There's insecurity. He was dancing. For a lot of persons, they thought it was a comic video, but until you watch, the video properly,
listen carefully.
Listen, you won't understand that the man is trying to say that, okay, Tinubu should resign, he should do this, there's hunger in the land, he was wearing a cap, and of course the outfit, it was perfect. And of course, after that video, Asari now made another video to say, I'm not that person, that's my brother, he's from Bayelsa State, I'm from River State, but we are very good brothers. He now said, it doesn't, and this is the problem now. He said something, he said, it doesn't matter what Tinubu does, he will still remain my friend. So that's the problem now, really. Well,
people have reasons to be friends with other people. And I think it is also there that there is freedom of association. I can decide to associate with you and decide not to associate with you, depending on how close we are and why we are close. So the why is much more important than any other thing. And I hope you understand. Now, talking about the issue of protest in Kwara. It's been a long time coming, actually. It was bound to happen. You can't continue to subject people to these harsh conditions and you expect them to keep quiet and nobody will say a thing about it. And we have seen it happen not just in 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 communities across the country, especially now moving down west, where some communities are sacked and then a lot of people are killed. And the question you ask yourself is that when this kind of situation happens, what exactly is the reason why it is happening? The first thing you consider is, have you done an analysis of that community? Are there natural resources there? Okay? Is that place a strategic position to relocate some people? Okay? I think I was speaking to an analyst a few years ago, and he said, look, there are some cabals who went as far as Niger, Senegal, and some other places where they have a large concentration of Fulanis, and told them that it is time for them to come back home. And where is the home? The home is Nigeria, because they feel like this is where they migrated from here to that place. Probably some of them distorted history. And so he said, by virtue of that, he thinks that there's a theory to eliminate some people, take their communities from them, and then relocate those people back to those communities. That, for me, is way out of the roof anyway, but that was his assertion. But the thing is, even if that is not happening, why do we continuously have communities being sacked by the suspected Fulani herdsmen, bandits, kidnappers, and people are killed on a regular basis in their numbers. Sometimes you go through the pages of the newspaper, you say 100 people killed somewhere. These are not just, they are not just numbers. These are human beings, potential fathers, or maybe fathers, mothers, children in some cases, all maimed overnight, their houses burnt down. For what reason exactly? Because if it is about religion, you want to maybe indoctrinate me, and I say I'm not doing, the first thing to do is not to come back in the middle of the night and then sack the whole community and kill everybody. The only thing is to do is to continue telling me what I need to do and why I should take your religion. And if you are successful in doing that, then there's no point fighting over it. But I think most people in Nigeria still do not understand that when it comes to religion and association, it is by free will. Nobody compels anyone to join a religion or start a religion or maybe associate with anybody. So we should get that correctly. And by tribe, you cannot suddenly, because I'm Yoruba now, does not mean by tomorrow morning I can forcefully become an Igbo person. It is inborn. This is a thing that you don't naturally naturalize. Yes, you might say I've stayed in Akwa Ibom for a long time. Maybe I've stayed in Ebonyi for a long time. But it still doesn't make me a part of them. It only makes me someone who has lived there for a particular period of time. So I think Nigerians should understand the basis of staying together as a people.
Definitely.
Let's just take a few comments. This is coming from Winsome. It says, Northern Nigeria communities are bleeding. Meanwhile, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces is busy with his re-election campaign. What are you campaigning for when you can't perform your primary duties, even as president? You have shown a high level of incompetence. That's it.
Well, I think, people have a reason to believe whatever it is they want to believe, but then it has to be moderated, okay? And do we have another comment just before we go? Let's take just one more comment and then we call it a day on that particular one this morning. All right, I think Crespo says, things have never been this bad. Look at how old women are crying. I think Yoruba Nation will worldwide need to stand up and defend the people, because the people in government only seems to care about 2027. Well, if you are talking about Yoruba Nation, you really have to be careful there. You are talking about secession, and there are ways to go about it. There is referendum, and you can simply request that we are no longer, and it's not just about one person. You can see the one that actually championed the whole cause is now a supporter of a political party in Nigeria. So if you think you want to toe this part at this time, you really need to be careful. Otherwise, you find yourself, at the other side of the border. Okay. Well, it's time to actually say our BY on today's edition of Daybreak Live Extra on Dominion Television. Thank you for being a part of this so far. Don't forget to link up with us on all socials. Support at this platform, of course, drop your comments, and of course, during every show, and we'll take them. Until next week, we shall be meeting again on another interesting edition of Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. Monday to Friday, same time, same station, same 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Samson Balogun is my name. But don't forget that security business is everybody's business. If you say something, say something.
All right, and of course, this one is also to the security operatives. Anytime they attack one state or community, it doesn't stop with one attack. I think it's something that they should actually look into. We can be proactive rather than reactive. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun. Good morning.
And I'll see you again next week. My name is Anulwa Poedo, and bye for now.